So you got to be willing to be the ones that want to be in person, those that want to find you online, those that want to have a blend. That's the trick in figuring out what your customers want.
All right, today we have with us Carey Wallace, CEO of Intelligence and Chief Innovation Officer at OIA, the Ohio Insurance Agent Association. Welcome, Carey.
Thank you, Amber. It's great to be here with you.
So the OIA and Intel agents work with obviously thousands of agencies. So you've seen many case studies of both success and struggle. So the agents that thrive in all environments and economies, what do they do differently than the agents that you see that are just kind of getting by?
You know, Amber, that's a great question. I think if 2020 has taught us anything is which organizations have viability and have the ability to sustain themselves and those that do not. So those that actually anticipated remote work, those that anticipated leveraging data, using technology, marketing, being able to reach out to their clients, those are the ones that didn't miss a beat. But the others that, you know, maybe lagged behind in some of those areas struggled to keep up and actually stay really relevant. And the good news is independent agents are so ingrained in their community, and they're very, very recession proof. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. So it wasn't as huge of an impact on independent agents as it would be other industries. But the difference is having the foresight to know what's happening in your environment around you and being able to adjust.
Yeah, that proactive approach certainly has never been more impactful than it has recently, to be able to meet customers where they want to be met. But certainly if you're going to have a small business or medium-sized business, insurance is a good place to be right now.
Sure is, isn't it? And you're right, where your customers want to be, and that's different for all your customers.
What are the key benchmarks an agency should use to assess their strengths?
I would tell you, we all speak in certain ways, and you need to have a holistic view. So number one, understand your revenue growth and the metrics that are driving that. But you actually said something that I think is even more important, is what do your customers think about you? And that's what's going to drive your retention. So have a pulse of what your customers think, your net promoter score, and really think about who's staying and who might not be staying and what is that risk.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think you've got this balance of leading indicators and lagging indicators. And I think sometimes in every area of the industry, I mean, marketing included, sometimes we can focus too much on the lagging indicators because often they're more solid. They're the ones that come up often. But those leading indicators, yeah, like net promoter score, for example, that's a great point of knowing where that's trending before it trends all the way, you know, positive or negative.
Absolutely. Anything that you can do to take a proactive approach is going to be much more powerful than looking in the rearview mirror. So, you know, same thing. How many touches are you doing with your clients, and what is that turning into in order to get to leads, close, all of those things? If you can see it at the beginning of the funnel rather than when it's already done, now you can do something about it.
Absolutely. And how well are agencies and the industry in general, how well are we leveraging data at this point? Where do you see the most opportunity?
Yeah, so our average agency is 2 million or below in revenue and somewhere between 7 and 11 employees. So it's small business that is 80% of who we deal with. And I would tell you, our industry also has retention rates that are the highest of any industry. So all of that to say, I'd say we are lagging behind in leveraging data. And the reason is some industries, they have to in order to compete. In our industry, it's incredibly solid. I mean, the expected revenue that an agency owner can count on is incredibly high. So that means the movement for change is far less than those that are fighting for that number every year. You know, what I hope to do is help independent agents leverage data in a thoughtful and planful way. So it's not this massive investment that you see such great outcomes.
Yeah, I think that gets to the root cause. It's easy to put the cart before the horse when it comes to some of these trends, such as big data, and it can quickly become overwhelming at that point.
Without question. Yeah, there's no shortage of data inside an independent agency, I will tell you that.
Absolutely. Another trend that we hear a lot of talk about is on the M&A side. So I've seen data indicating that literally billions of dollars of premium will change hands in the next decade due to mergers and acquisitions in the agency space. So why is M&A activity growing so rapidly, and what should agents know about this trend?
Well, M&A is occurring for multiple reasons. First of all, independent agents are some of the most profitable businesses you can ever have. The retention rates are highest they've ever been. It's attracted private equity into our industry in a huge way, and it's because of the profitability and the they are incredibly predictable. The activity also is being driven by the demographic. I mean, you are 100% correct. If you look at agency owners across the country, Intelligence has a footprint of over 20,000 agencies in 14 states. So we have a pretty nice cross section of what that looks like. The average age is somewhere around 56, 57. And in the next 10 years, those are going to transition without question. And it's not even just agency owners, it's the staff inside agencies as well that are aging. So there's a need, there's great opportunity inside our agencies. And I think there's a great opportunity to make sure that agency owners understand the value of their agency, how they maximize that value, and how they transition in the way that they want to, not with the gift of time, not the way they have to whenever that occurs. So yeah, those are the things that I see being the biggest factors.
Yeah, again, same concept, being proactive and kind of taking charge of your own destiny versus waiting until it, happens to you, I guess.
Yeah, so we got into the space of valuing agencies about roughly 3 years ago. And again, because our average agency did not understand the value of their agency, and transitions were happening based on a multiple of revenue rather than a multiple of EBITDA. And I would tell you, data that you get from evaluation is far more than what your fair market value is. There's so many insights about how you can improve your value just by knowing what all the factors are that go into the valuation of an agency. So it's very, very powerful data to know your agency's value and actually put it to work, what you can do with that information.
Wow, if that doesn't show you the power of data, I don't know what does. I mean, that's power right there to know how much your organization is worth.
Yeah, well, data is the new gold, right?
I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
That's right, absolutely.
Cool. Well, one thing we like to close with is, what is one thing you've learned in the last month?
You know what? Probably one of the biggest lessons are opportunities look different all the time. It could look like something that is not an opportunity. So I would tell you that there are opportunities everywhere. It's just a matter of what your mindset is. And I've learned that lesson more times than I can count, but in the last month, that has been the one that's resonated with me in a meaningful way. So opportunities are everywhere. It's how you look at them.
That's a great note to end on. I think this has been one of the most challenging years in recent history, and you have to see it as an opportunity to, I think, capitalize on challenges and give them some meaning. So that makes a ton of sense.
Without question. Yes, this has been a year, hasn't it?
It has. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Really enjoyed your perspective on the agency and data space.
Thank you, Amber.
Thanks.